Are you ready to uplevel your sales game? Well, here is a gift for you. It is the Mastering the Sales Conversation mini training. This training gives you my proven step-by-step approach to sales so that you can go from that overwhelmed and intimidated approach that you have to sales to feeling confident and leading a conversation so that you easily guide somebody to hiring you. You can get it right now by going to yoursalesmaven.com/mastering. This is my gift to you. Go grab it now.
Do sales conversations make you feel awkward or pushy? It's time to ditch the outdated salesy strategies. Your guide, Nikki Rausch, will show you how to combine kindness with selling skills to meet your prospects where they are, and in the process, how to uplevel your influence and income. Learn how to earn business easily and effortlessly. Here's Nikki.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Rausch, your own personal sales maven, here to offer you tips and strategies and techniques to master your sales conversation. Today, we are going to be talking about handling sales failures and how, when they happen, because let's be honest, they do happen, how you can either burn a bridge or how you can build one. And I'm going to be sharing two different examples with you today, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what your big takeaway is from today's episode. But the goal is for you to be thinking about how to plan for those times when things just don't go well. So I am a big believer that sometimes when things go wrong with a prospect or with a customer, it actually is an opportunity to build a tremendous amount of loyalty and long-term client relationships when you can take care of them, surprise and delight them, really take it serious, and make efforts to make things right. Now, I want to put a qualifier here and say, this is not me saying the customer is always right, that you should always, bend over backwards, give refunds, yada, yada, yada. That's not what I'm saying here. I do think you should always take care of your clients and you should make things right when things are your responsibility. I don't always think the client is right. I know I've had many instances where people have reached out to me. I know one in particular, somebody who had joined my group, was in it for over a year, left a year after they left, came back and asked me to refund them the full year that they were in it because they were having some financial difficulties. Now, I can feel bad for that person, but that's not my responsibility. And so I just want to be clear here that that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is when things are either within your control or something that's totally outside the client's control, stuff that you are making decisions about. So I'm going to give you two scenarios here. So this one actually was my failure with a client. A company had hired me, or a coaching program had hired me to deliver training to their coaching people. And we had agreed that each one of their people would sign up and pay directly to me for this training program. They got a special price on it. I put together content that I know would really make difference to their, to the business and the kind of sales that they were doing, and put together a really comprehensive workbook, which is one of the things that I pride myself on. And about a week before the training was to happen, the organizer reached out and said, "Hey, is there any way that you could add, and cover these extra pieces in your training?" Now, at this point, I'd already spent a tremendous amount of time putting together the presentation and the workbook. It was done. It's all set up in the system. Everything is automated. So, somebody signs up, they get the workbook sent to them. So it was quite a big ask. And so what I said was, I will address these things in the Q&A because the presentation is set, the training content is set, the workbook is set. And so she was totally fine with that. So the day came, delivered the training. The people on the group were I'll say delighted. That was my impression. They were absolutely delighted with the training. Now, one of the things I did do is a couple days before the training, I did go in and added some bonus content. It didn't make it into the workbook, but it did make it into the presentation itself. I use Keynote, so it made it into the keynote that I was going to deliver. And it was just kind of my way to really want to surprise and delight. So did the training. They were delighted, had really good interaction, and they were so delighted that the organizer said, is there any way that we can go back out to our group and let them know how good this was and encourage people to sign up and just get access to the recordings? Because I think people really need this content and not everybody in the group signed up. So I said, yes, absolutely. I'll make the recording available for a certain period of time. People can sign up for it. To which that happened, got some signups. One person in particular started to watch the training and then reached out to us and said, hey, this training, it only shows Nikki talking. It doesn't show her slides. Can I get her slides? To which my first response was the workbook, like it should have shown the slides. Like this was a mistake. I'm not sure, something happened in our settings. It didn't get recorded properly. And so I said, everything that is in the training is in the workbook. So the workbook will be sufficient, because ultimately at this point, there's nothing I can do. Like the recording is done. The Q&A stuff was so impactful, and I didn't want to re-record the training, not because I didn't want to take the time to do it, but I wanted them to be able to hear and see the interaction between me and the group members, because a lot of their questions were so specific to their business. It was such a crucial part of the training, which is part of why they were so delighted. And then she reached out again and said, yeah, except for that there's bonus content that's not in the workbook. And there was specific language suggestions in there. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd forgotten that I did this bonus content. So what I ended up doing was I recorded a mini training that just had the bonus content. So this way I knew the slides were there. I knew the content was there. It was just me. And it was probably another, let's say like a quarter's worth of the training content that they had already gotten. And again, this was bonus. This wasn't advertised, but I don't want somebody to miss out on something. To which she was so delighted when I sent this to her and said, I did this bonus training for you. And I actually added another piece in there that I thought would be really helpful after, spending that time with their group. So here this is for you. We'll make it available for the same amount of time. Want to make sure you have it. Please reach out to me with any questions. She was so delighted. She sent back this incredibly kind message to me. So that was good, right? I was happy. Now, here's the other thing she did. She didn't just stop there. She reached back out to the organizer and sent this very kind message. It said, just to let you know, the video version of the training was missing the slides. Nikki did some extra work to record things for me. I'm super impressed that she went to the trouble and time to make an extra video rather than simply offering a discount. It says a lot to me about how much she cares about people learning. So I wanted to let you know and to thank you for choosing her to do the training. Like, perfect, right? So then the organizer reaches out to me and is also now delighted that I went above and beyond. And that's what we're going for, right? It's not her fault that the slides didn't record. And frankly, I'm not sure why they didn't record. It had to have been a failure somewhere with the system that I was using. But ultimately, it's my failure because I'm the one that chose the system to use. And I've never had slides not record before. So this was like, okay. And so we've taken steps to ensure that that doesn't happen. Although it did just happen again in another situation. But I think it was a change. The system that I use, I'm not going to call them out, but I think they changed their settings or something. So we've now fixed it again, right? And I've had to re-record trainings as a result of it. And I've done that even when I didn't really have the time. It wasn't slotted into my schedule. But again, it's my responsibility to deliver and make sure that the client is delighted and happy. And going that extra mile allows people to then hopefully be somewhat appreciative, right? And maybe even to the fact that they will reach out and like shout your praises to others, which is so great because now you're building ambassadors in the marketplace for you. I'm always looking for opportunities to build ambassadors. And I would suspect that given an opportunity for this woman to work with me again, she absolutely would choose to work with me again. If I have something that would make sense for her and she needs some help with sales, my guess is I'll be the person that she'll come to because she sees my level of commitment to delivering and right. And that's what we're going for. So hopefully that is a bridge building opportunity. Right now, let's contrast that to a situation with a company that I was in the position of being the customer. I had placed an order. A company had put an offer out for special pricing for their products. And I had ordered some of their products. It was my first experience ordering from this company. I had never worked with them before, but I've seen their ads and thought, oh, okay, well, I want to give them a try and placed an order. And after about a month of not receiving anything, I reached out and contacted the company and asked, if I could get an update as to where the order was, to which they sent me back a tracking, like a link to a tracking site and said, here's your tracking information. So I looked it up and it said the package had been delivered like 3 days before. Now I do 90% of my shopping online. So I get a lot of packages. I don't do a ton of shopping, but I do quite a bit. Like, let's be honest, Amazon, they know how to find my house pretty easily. But this wasn't an Amazon company. This was different. And I reached back out and said, it says the package was delivered, but it wasn't. Is there anything, can you track this back? Is there a picture showing that it was delivered? Because I often get pictures of my packages being delivered, emailed to me, and they sent back a message and asked me to check with my neighbors, to maybe wait a couple days to see if it showed up. So I reached out to all of my neighbors in my cul-de-sac. Every single one of them said they didn't get the package. And I waited a few days and then I reached back out to the company and said, the package still has not arrived. Have you gotten any more information? And they gave some weird response about the shipping or the delivering company. And so they're just going to reorder the shipment for me. Great. I'm delighted. Another month goes by. I reach back out to them and say, still have not received the second package. Do you have tracking information? To which they sent me a link, clicked on it. It said the package was delivered 3 days ago. Same 3 days. Okay, I'm starting to feel a little suspicious. So reach back out, say the package wasn't delivered. They send me the same thing, check with your neighbors, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. At this point, I would just like to request a refund because this feels really fishy. To which they sent me this response. It says, thank you for contacting us. We feel sorry that you failed to receive the package successfully again, but please allow us to explain why the package was not successfully delivered. Since this is the second time you have failed to receive the package, I think the courier has some problems with the delivery service in your area. We have already filed a claim with them. Although they still refuse to bear 100% of the loss of the order since the package was shown delivered, we tried our best to require them to increase the proportion of the compensation for the loss as much as possible. With our unremitting efforts, we have obtained a 60% refund for you. I know this may be different from the ratio you expected, but please understand that we also suffered a huge loss as the products were sold at a very low price already. We would appreciate it if you could understand our difficult. Please allow me to apologize. We look forward to your reply. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, you have a problem with your delivery company and you're telling me that you're only going to give me 60% of a refund for something I didn't even get? This is not like damaged product that they actually delivered. And their language, right? The language in the messaging, twice they say, you failed to receive the package. No, the package was failed to be delivered to me. I didn't fail as the customer. That doesn't work. Hey, it's Nikki. It's Sales Maven's 11th year anniversary. And to celebrate, here's a special offer just for you. Sign up right now for the Sales Accelerator Kickstarter program, and you'll save 40% off the standard price. This is a 90-day personalized one-on-one coaching program designed to show you how to tackle your biggest sales challenges. So whether that's putting together effective proposals, business development, lead generation, closing on your consult calls, or anything related to sales, this is there to help you build your business with confidence. You get personalized strategy sessions with me, Voxer access, and I'll even bonus you 3 months into my membership, which is the Sales Maven Society. This offer is meant to be a super easy yes for you. Now, spots are limited, and this offer is only good for a few more days. So go grab your 40% discount right now by heading over to bit.ly/Kickstarter40. You'll get all the details and be able to sign up there. So again, that's bit.ly/Kickstarter40. Check it out. Sales Accelerator Kickstarter. I can't wait to work with you. And this idea of, please understand, we've suffered a huge loss as the products were sold at a very low price. I didn't set their prices. That's on them. So to push that off to a customer, like talk about like pouring gasoline and lighting the bridge on fire. I was like, no. And I sent back another message saying, this is absolutely unacceptable. I expect 100% refund, please advise, to which they said, we apologize again for the unpleasant shopping experience we've caused you and hope to resolve this issue as soon as possible. We will do our best to minimize your losses. Through unremitting communication with our superiors, we obtained a refund of up to 90% for your order. We are not sure if you can accept this. No, I'm not going to accept a refund. Again, that's like going to a restaurant, going up to a counter, ordering some food, sitting down, and they're supposed to bring your food out to you. And then they come back and say, oh, our supplier didn't deliver, the food today. So here's 60% of your food order refunded. It's like, no, that's not how business works. And then to say, oh, but we went to our superiors and they said we would give you a 90% back on something you never even received. No. Talk about burning bridges. Now, in this particular case, at this point, I'm done. So I just went and requested, challenged the charge with my credit card company, which I try never to do because I don't know if you know this. Well, you probably do as a business owner. When somebody challenges a charge on their credit card, you have to fight it. And they immediately take the money back from the company. And as the business owner, it costs you extra fees. So I try never to do that to anybody. But in this particular case, come on. So crazy. So what's the message here? The message is you have an opportunity. If this company had just offered me a 100% refund, I probably would have gone my separate ways. Maybe I would have tried them again. Maybe not. Probably not, actually. After 2 times of not delivering and the message about how I failed to receive their product, that probably would have been it. But yet, there's always opportunity to make things right. And yes, sometimes it takes extra effort. And yes, sometimes we suffer a loss as a business owner to make things right, or we have to go out of our way, spend extra time, do something extra, sometimes offer a discount to try to make it right, or sometimes just offer some little extra thing. But come on. Do you want to build bridges or do you want to burn bridges? Because, there's some stats out there about, if somebody's happy, they might tell a couple people, but if somebody isn't happy, they might tell, 10 or 20 or however many people. I mean, at this point, if I'm telling you, I'm actually not going to say the name of the company, but, we get hundreds of downloads on a podcast. So this is me potentially having the platform to tell hundreds of people not to order from this company. Again, I'm not going to share the company name because I don't know, doesn't feel like that's in alignment with who I am to say, but they definitely lit that bridge on fire and it is now in cinders. And I will never do business with them again. And if somebody ever asked me privately, I would be sure to name the company and talk about why I think their stuff is a scam. I'm not actually sure if they deliver anything. Doesn't matter at this point. Okay. In conclusion, what is something that you can do to delight and surprise a client when something goes wrong? What's something you would do? Would you reach out and share? And maybe you have your own experience or a funny story. And if you want to share that too, I don't know if you know this about me, but I love a story. So if you want to share your story, I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Please go out and build bridges. I'm wishing you continued success in all that you're doing. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.
Are you ready to increase your confidence in your sales conversations? I have a gift for you that is going to show you exactly how to do that. It is my Closing the Sale ebook. It's all about leveling up your confidence, giving you language to use, how to seamlessly move somebody through the sales process. And you can get it right now by going to yoursalesmaven.com/Maven. Go grab it.